And one of the interesting pieces that I thought would make for a good episode is we both run agencies of about the same size. Your focus is on marketing. My focus is a little more on sales development. And so I think from our experience, you kind of, anytime I'm looking at like an external marketing person being involved in a company, you're always like, it's like you never know what you're going to get, right? It could be like a very brand person who doesn't want to send a cold email. It could be a really helpful person who's like, hey, what do you all need for this campaign, right? Like what kind of materials? And it can really vary. And I think that this kind of, both folks in those instances are coming from a good place. And I think this episode is going to be a little bit about calibrating and how do we on both sides kind of calibrate the use of marketing resources, sales development resources to kind of bring them all together. So with that, I want to talk about the first kind of first area that I've probably screwed up as somebody who led marketing and sales was in the early days, we focused way too much on demand or on brand and not demand. The amount of time we spent on values and what the brand looked like, and I'm disappointed in myself. We wanted to, we were trying to grow the company, and we spent like more money than I'd like to admit on like name, tagline, mission, all this like mushy stuff that felt good at the time, sort of like doing drugs. Felt good at the time, but didn't actually produce a whole lot other than a bit of a hangover. It didn't move the needle at all. And so I'm curious your thoughts. Is this something that, is this common? Is this uncommon? Did I do the right thing? Did I do the wrong thing?
I think you did a natural evolution that many companies did, right? Because brand strategy is fun. It makes you feel good and it never loses, right? So I can understand why there's so many people who want to help you build your brand, because they are always going to pump you up and get you really excited in the short term, right? Now, I think what we're realizing is a lot of marketing of the past, was more of the art than the science. There is this marriage of art and science and marketing. And you think, oh my God, I got this idea. It's so clever. It's so cool. And you put an ad in your industry trade and you'd have this cool looking booth and 3 people could walk by and say something nice and you'd feel like that was a success. But now everything we're doing is about A/B testing. I'll tell you a great story. When we started doing Google ads for our company, I wrote all the copy because I was a creative writing major. I know how to write what people are going to like, and it's punchy and cool. And gosh, every time I looked at it, I was like, oh, I'd want to click on it. So we ran it for a few weeks, kind of crickets, right? And my ads team was like, hey, Austin, here's what some of the competitors are doing. It's just kind of straightforward, clear, concise. I'm like, boring. No way. Like this.
I'm better than everybody else.
Yes. And so then they said, well, because we're not getting results here, could you maybe open your mind here, creative genius, and let us just do it this way that you're calling boring? And I'm like, sure, guys, sure. And sure enough, a lot more conversions started rolling in. And what I realized very humbly in that moment was that we are in an A/B testing world, and we can all think that we have this awesome message. But the fact of the matter is we have the opportunity to send so many different messages to our target audience, and we let them tell us, let the data tell us what's actually engaging, what actually is exciting for them, and what actually breaks through. And so I think that you're going to see that more. I do believe that a lot of the brand-focused marketing is going to subside because, for many reasons. I was playing with the AI logo generator yesterday, right? Like, and they were spitting out some cool stuff. And maybe we didn't go through an exercise where it was like, if your brand was a car, what kind of car would it be? But so it's pretty clear to a lot of people now that you don't need to do that, right? And so I think the brand side, and I'll also say I work a lot more in the B2B space. I think B2C is definitely a lot more brand focused. I don't want to knock on brand marketing too much, but I definitely think in the B space, you're finding a lot more rewards when you're focusing a lot more on demand.
100%. And I think as a founder, it was one of the first big mistakes I made when I hired my first marketing person, was hiring somebody who was brand focused and not demand focused.